we're going to do some meatballs with gravy. So I have here I have here 3 pounds of ground beef, some Tony seasoning, some accent, black pepper, garlic, salt, cayenne pepper, beef bouillon cubes. And I only put this to darken my gravy a little bit because that tends to be salty. I'm going to use garlic powder, onion powder, some parsley flakes, and I also, when I do beef, Worcestershire sauce. Hi, today I'm going to make some meatballs with gravy, mashed potatoes, and seasoned corn. So this is 3 pounds of meatloaf. To that, I'm going to add some Tony seasoning, a little accent, not much because accent will make your food taste bitter, black pepper, cayenne pepper, just give it a little kick, garlic powder, onion powder, excuse me, a few parsley flakes, regular salt. Also, I'm going to add some minced garlic, this is Worcestershire sauce, and for every 1.5 pounds I have of ground beef, I'm going to add an egg. So for the 3 pounds of ground beef, it's going to be 2 eggs. Basically, I make my meatloaf the same as I make my hamburger buns. I'm sorry. Hamburger patties, beef patties. Okay, and so to this also, I'm going to add some seasoning blend. This is what it looks like. I'm going to add this to it. And for things like this, I know a lot of people don't like using their hands, but I have to because I have to make sure the seasonings are spread throughout. I know a lot of people use gloves, but we all cook different. Okay, I've added everything, so now I'm going to add a little flour to it. And this is just to bind the meatballs so they won't get all crumbly. About 1/4 of a cup. So now we're going to mix this up good. And of course, if you're cooking, your hands better be clean. But I just can't mix my meatloaf up with a spoon. I have to go in with my hands. Okay, so I'm going to come back, but this is how you do it. Just work that flour in there. And I'm going to come back and start cooking these. Okay, so here we're adding our meatballs to our pan. And I make them fairly large. have just a little oil. Vegetable oil at the bottom. I usually use canola. And when I use ground beef, well, for dinners like this, I use ground chuck. The 85-15 or the 80-20 beef. So I'll come back when I'm finished with this. Okay, now I was able to get them all in the pan, so we're going to just let these cook. I brown them on each side, and we'll be back. Okay, so what I do now, this is the meatballs after they've cooked. I've strained the grease out of them, and I take my flour. I don't take them out, but I just take my flour and add it down in there. Probably easy to take it out, but this is the way I do it. I left just a little grease down in there, not much. And here, I'll let that just fry up a little bit. This is a non-stick pan that this is in. Okay, here I've added the water and I'm letting that come to a boil. And I just let that flour just brown that pan. You don't want a lot of gravy, just a little. Now I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce to it. I use that in pretty much all of my beef dishes. Worcestershire sauce. And I'm going to let this boil for a minute. I'm going to turn it down. I'm adding 1 beef bouillon cube to it. Because they tend to be a little salty, and I do have, you know, salt and totally saturated seasoning, so that's going to be enough of that. Gravy does look a little thin, but once I let it just boil for a little bit, it's going to get better. It'll thicken. And if it, by chance it doesn't, I do like a little corn syrup slurry, just a little, to thicken it to the consistency that I desire. Okay, so that is it. The meatballs. Okay, so it's finished now, and this is the consistency of the gravy. Thick enough. You don't put a whole lot. But anyway, this is what it looks like. And they are done.